guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make a shoulder princess bustier, a shoulder dart princess. Today we'll be learning how to cut a princess shoulder dart. So, and also it will have a peplum at the lower part of it. So we are just going to be doing the peplum top you just saw now. So let's get into the tutorial. I have all my points marked out already. My starting point from this place, from the shoulder line to the hem of the half scale bodies, then from the shoulder to the bust, from the shoulder to the under bust. So now, because there's going to be zipper at the front, so I also marked out my 1.5 zipper allowance. Then from there I took the shoulder to shoulder measurement of 8 inches, and then from there I came down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope length, and from the shoulder slope I took the armhole length. So now from the center of the armhole you need to determine the midpoint. So this is a midpoint around here. So from there I came in by 1/2 inch. This is 1/2 inch. I came in by 1/2 inch. Then on the neckline I'm using 3 inches by, I'm using 3 by 3. I already squared the measurement, so I'm going to be curving it later. So now the next thing to do is to impute our nipple to nipple measurements, and I'm using the nipple measurement of 8 inches. On fold is 4 inches. Then I'll be adding 1/2 inch seam allowance to it. Then I'll have 4.5. So because I'm doing a shoulder dart, so I'll first determine the midpoint of this place. I have 5 inches and the midpoint is 2.5. So you mark that and keep it in mind. So now I'll take the bust, the nipple to nipple measurement of 4.5. So this is it. Then from there you rule this place, this midpoint here, up to the nipple point. So now before you rule it, you go up by 1/2 inch. I'll be going up by 1/2 inch here, and I'll also come down by 1/2 inch, just to give enough room for the bust. So now I'm going to connect the line to this place. Can you see what I did? I connected the line here. So now towards the armhole here, I'll be taking 1 inch. Towards the armhole, I'll be taking 1 inch, and towards the neckline, I'll be taking 1/2 inch. So I'll take 1/2 inch around here. And I'll be taking 1.5, and I'll be taking 1 inch around here. So keep the marks in mind. Then coming to this side around the under bust, I'll take 1 inch on both sides. So at the waistline too, I'll take 1 inch. So then you can connect the line. So now from this 1/2 inch we came down from the bust, then you connect using your curve ruler. So I'm going to connect the points right here to this place. So I'll also connect here as well. So now this is what we have. Then you blend this place. You don't want it sharp. So now coming back to this place, if you have a curve ruler, you can just curve from this place up to this half an inch here. So I'll just use my ruler and then curve it with my hand. So on getting here, I'll curve it. So the same thing here as well. So on getting here, you can just curve. You can curve it. So this is what I have for the shoulder dart. Then for the neck, you need to curve your neck. So I've curved the neck. So the next thing to do now is to input the measurements. So the bust I'm working with is 39 inches. 39 divided by 4, I will have 9 3/4. I will have 9 3/4. So this is 9 3/4. So 9 3/4, you measure what you're taking away around here. So I have about half an inch. Then the half an inch on both sides that you're going to be using to join this dart together, that's 1.5. Then 1.5 plus another 1.5 for seam allowance, I have 3 inches. So I'll add the 3 inches here. So on the underbust, I'm using the underbust of 35 inches. So 35 divided by 4, I have 8 3/4. 35 divided by 4, I have 8 3/4. So this is the 8 3/4 here. Then you measure what you're taking away from here, which is 2 inches plus half an inch on both sides to join it together. You have 3 inches plus 1.5 seam allowance. You have 4.5. So this is a 4.5 here. So now on the waistline, I'm working with a waist of 36 inches. So 36 divided by 4, I have 9. You also measure what you're taking away from here. 2 inches, half an inch on both sides, 1 inch is making 3 inches, plus 1.5, that's 4.5. So I'll measure the bust measurement of 9 inches here. Then plus the 4.5 seam allowance. Then you add it here. So now you're going to connect the lines together. So I'll connect the lines together. So now this is what I have. So now coming back to the armhole here, then you connect the armhole you have around there, you connect it. So now I'm connecting the armhole. So from there now, measure, you use a straight ruler. So this is the front, this is what the front armhole will look like. So now what you need to do is the measurement you're taking away from here, the 1.5 you're taking away from here, you need to add it back to this place. So now let me take the shoulder slope. So I'll extend the line, the shoulder slope line. So this is the shoulder slope, I extended the line. So now what you need to do is, can you see how I extended the line? So now the measurements you took away from here, the 1.5 you took away from here, you need to add it back to this place. So if you are cutting directly on your fabric, you also need to add additional 1 inch to whatever measurement you're taking away from here, because you are going to be joining this side and this side together. Half an inch on this side, half an inch on this side. you join it together, making 1 inch. So you need to add that 1 inch back to the 1.5 you're taking away from here. But if you are cutting on your pattern, you just add your seam allowance when you are placing the pattern on your fabric. So now I took away 1.5 here plus 1 inch, I will have 2.5. So you measure the 2.5 here. So now on this midpoint here, at the midpoint around here, okay, you measure what you have here as well. I have 1 inch plus the extra 1 inch, that is half an inch on both sides to join together. I have 2 inches. So you measure the 2 inches like so, and then you connect the points, and then you retake your armhole measurements. So now I'll be retaking it. So that is my new armhole measurement. So now you need to measure what you have on this side towards the neck side. You measure what you have around here, and then check if you have the same thing on this side. So I have about 10.5 here. Measure if you have 10.5 here. So this side is shorter, so you need to add extra to this top so that by the time you are joining, one side is not shorter than the other. So now I've added to the length of this dark leg here. So then you connect it back to this place, okay? So now I've done everything I need to do. I'll just cut out. I'll cut everything. I'll cut the points out. I'll cut the fabric out. So now the next thing to do is at the hem line here, you know we are using 1.5 inch for seam allowance. You take the 1.5 inch seam allowance, and from there you come up by half an inch. So from the half an inch you curve this side here, okay? So now I already curved it. So you do the same thing for the back as well when you're cutting the back bodies. So I'll just cut it out. Okay, so right now this is the back measurement. So I also took the same measurement I took at the front, which is the bust, the under bust, the waist, the nipple to nipple measurement you can see. So I'm just taking the half an inch on both sides. Then I also took the shoulder slope as well. I also took the neck width for the back. Always it is 3 by 1 inch. You can see as I'm connecting. Now for that area, you need to come down from that shoulder slope by about 6 inches to now connect to the bust point. Okay, that's where you're going to connect that leg coming from that shoulder, from the shoulder line too. So I'm taking the horizontal measurement as well. You can see what I'm doing. Just do the same thing you do at the front. The only difference for the back is the neck depth and also the dart intake for the front. You know there is bustier at the front, but at the back there is no bustier at the back. So it's just so easy peasy. So just follow the steps and you'll get it. And also at that armhole area, you know that I added what I took away at the front. I added it back to the armhole area. You do the same thing to the back as well. Whatever it is you're taking off your darts around that shoulder place, make sure you replace it back at the armhole and then create a new armhole curve, just like what I'm doing right now. And I'm cutting. So you remember that I also extended that leg, the one that was shorter. I extended it so it can match up with the other side, and connected it back to the shoulder line. Watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share this video. Bye.